the guys that were out, you had that kind of the expected stepping up of whether it was Shooter and Harrell and Kuz in particular. What did you see from an overall framework of the rotations and guys trying to figure things out, especially as it got down the stretch there?
Yeah, I was proud of our team's effort and fight. In a game, we got three starters out. Second night of a back-to-back against a team that's been off for 2 days. I think we came out of the gates really strong. Weren't able to sustain our defensive proficiency throughout most of the game, in particular getting stops down the stretch. But I thought our effort, and willingness to play for each other with 26 assists, trying to play team first basketball was really at a high level tonight, and I'm really proud of our guys even in the loss.
Frank, and not to dwell on it, but Spectrum showed a Buddy Hield three from the second quarter a few times. I just wondered if that got to you and if you got an explanation.
Yeah, we told the officials about it. They said they turned it into Secaucus, and then they gave us some excuse that too much time had passed, that they can't reverse it at that point. So, when you got a 1 point game down the stretch, that's very disappointing that they weren't able to look at that. But that's what they told us during the game, or after after the game or during the game, they were telling my assistants.
Dave?
Frank, was there any real-time communication with the guys who are out, LeBron, AD, Mark? Are they checking with you guys at halftime? Or are they passing any word on to the team after the game ended?
No.
And follow McKinney, what gave you the idea? I know you guys were undermanned, but the idea to give him extended minutes tonight, and what do you think of his performance?
Yeah, well, he's a good player, and he's been sort of buried with our depth here, but he's maintained a great attitude, been a true pro, coming and get his work in every day, really trying to show what he can do in the practices or pickup games, guys playing off days. And, we've been looking for an opportunity to get him in there, without, supplanting one of the rotation guys. And, tonight was the night. So it was a good opportunity for it. And I thought he played really well, especially crashing the boards. Made a couple buckets for us, played solid defense, and, really made a case for more minutes.
Frank, maybe I don't even ask about this, except for, last night there was a game where officiating played a big role, but between, the review today that you're just talking about, the tech on Trez, which appeared to us to be related to calling and one, seems very common.
Yeah.
Are you surprised in the last two games by the way officiating has affected the games?
No, I don't worry about the officials. It's out of our control.
And just an unrelated follow-up, how was this loss received in the locker room? Were guys sort of like, you know what, we're ready for break, or were they legitimately disappointed that
Guys are hurt. They're hurting. They competed their tails off. They fought hard enough to get a win, and the ball bounces on the rim 3 times. And with the game on the line, we have a couple putbacks right there. Just weren't able to close it out, but our guys wanted to win this game very badly, and they're disappointed.
Bill?
Hey Frank, breaks have been so few and far between for you guys over the last 18 months or something. 8 days in the grand scheme of things isn't a lot, but does it feel like that could be a really meaningful stretch for your guys? And what's the most important thing for your players to do with that time?
Yeah, it's they're going to meet with the sports performance team, to talk about not deconditioning too much, but making sure that they're getting the appropriate rest. And 8 days does feel like a long time. For me in particular, it feels that way. But I think our whole group is welcoming this break, and we're going to have to just make sure we're only going to have one practice before we start playing games again. So the not deconditioning and making sure that guys are able to get appropriate work in the 2 or 3 days leading up to our return. That's an important part of this break here. But definitely a welcome break for all of us.
Frank, I've been deconditioning for 35 years. If any of you guys need tips on what not to do.
I was going to tell you that, Bill, but I didn't want to offend you.
Dan?
I'm starting to learn that's a thing. I didn't know. I just assumed I was still my best self. Frank, how do you kind of judge these 37 games? I know you've said big picture to us probably 100 times so far this season. if you can take a step back and look at it, I mean, obviously 3-7 in the last 10, some struggles a little before that, but winning. Kind of where are you guys at?
Very confident in what we can accomplish this year. The season is a marathon. It's about looking at a lot of different combinations and integrating new players and building habits that are going to win for you in the playoffs. And whether you're winning or losing, you have a growth mindset. I'm not concerned with the recent losses. Our guys are competing while we're undermanned, and guys are getting more opportunity. And those guys that are getting opportunities are growing in our system. Very, very confident in what we can accomplish this year.
Frank, obviously the last 2 games notwithstanding, I mean, you guys are still the #1 team defensively in this league. Considering the lack of break, considering the sort of the mental tax that guys have talked about, how encouraging is it that that side of the ball hasn't really suffered that much?
Well, if you put Anthony Davis and LeBron James and Schroeder and Trez and Mark and KCP, Kuz, the offensive firepower that we have on this team come playoff time with an elite defense, if you pair the 2 of them, we can do special things. So the care factor is going to remain at a high level on the defensive side of the ball, and it's going to be something that we take into the playoffs, knowing that will help us win games.
Okay, we're gonna go last 2 here. We'll take BT and then we'll take Jovan.
How you doing, Frank?
All right.
Good. The virus is still out there, and with this break, how much have you guys talked about telling guys, make sure you still stay safe, you still do things the right way during this time off?
Yeah, it's part of the message going into the break is to be mindful, still adhere to the protocols, get away as safely as possible, and still be minimal in what types of things you're doing away from the team. I don't think anybody wants to get this virus, and certainly no one wants to bring it back with them. In our return. So that is part of the message.
Last question, Jovan.
Hey Frank, I'm curious, what have you seen from Damian these last 3 games? And I believe his 10-day is going to be expiring soon. So do you view him as a potential long-term fit here?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not certain about what we're going to do, but I think he's played very well in the opportunities that he's gotten, and and showed us a lot. He's got great size. He's a wonderful young man. To be around our team and a culture fit, and he's got a skill set that fits the modern NBA. So I would say he should be optimistic about what's ahead of him.